It's always a pleasure to see you, all demonstrations, not just this one, and you tirelessly and fearlessly stand up against oppression, and we know you take a hell of a battering because of it, but you still stand up, and we learn from you guys. We learn how to stand against oppression from you guys, so thank you so much. And can we also, loud cheer for the rabbis, please. And there are also members of the Muslim community here, leaders of community and faith organizations. Can we also make a loud cheer, whether they are coming now, I think, to the front. Can we make a nice loud cheer for the Maulanas who've come here in numbers to support this cause? Please, a nice loud cheer for the Maulanas as well who've come here. So, without further ado, let me bring on the first speaker. The first speaker is a UK-based Palestinian researcher and activist. He obtained his master's degree in Middle Eastern Studies from Leiden University, specializing in the formation of Palestine since the fall of the Ottoman Empire. So can we please welcome him to stage with, I tell you what we'll welcome with, a free, free! No, it's not a welcome, that's more like a goodbye. Let's have a welcome. Free, free! Free, free!
In our millions! Let's get one message clear. Israel is a racist settler colonial state. I said Israel is a racist settler colonial state. Built on bloodshed. Built on an ethnically cleansed land and continues to ethnically cleanse. We must not understand these as moments in history, as events of the past, because Israel continues to exploit. Israel continues to steal. Israel continues to attack Palestinians, namelessly, indiscriminately. Within our lifetime alone, just our lifetime alone, we have witnessed Palestinian journalists murdered. We have witnessed Palestinian paramedics such as Razan al-Najjar shot dead. We have witnessed disabled Palestinians killed. We have witnessed pregnant Palestinian women in Gaza blown to bits. In our lifetime, we have witnessed the bombs that rain over Gaza. In our lifetime, we have witnessed the humiliating checkpoint system that regulates the movement of over 5 million people. In our lifetime, we have witnessed a military blockade that dictates the movement of people. You guys are angered here today because the police are telling you where and where not to go. Imagine 5 million people. Your movement is dictated by structurally violent policies that humiliate you. Within our lifetime, we have witnessed these Israeli war crimes in Palestine. And in spite of all of this, what we have just witnessed in our lifetime alone, Rishi Sunak invites war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu last month louder! When I say Rishi Sunak, you say shame on you! Rishi Sunak! With the drums! Rishi Sunak! Rishi Sunak! Rishi Sunak! And given that I'm standing outside Downing Street and I might not get a moment to do this in the future, when I say Suella Braverman, you say shame on you. Suella Braverman! Suella Braverman! Suella Braverman! For encouraging policies that incite hatred upon another individual because of the pigment of their skin. What is the difference between an immigrant and an expat except the pigment that you see on the skin? Shame on you. In spite of all of this, one thing we must understand, and this is a message to every Zionist behind me and every Zionist watching, and like the brother in the background, raise your flags as I speak these words and raise them high. When Israel attacks Palestinians in Al-Quds, when Israel attacks those worshipping, they are attacking you on your places of worship. When Israel is detaining Palestinian children, they are detaining your child. When Israel is humiliating that Palestinian mother, they are humiliating your mothers. Why? Because in our thousands and in our millions, we are all Palestinian. After me, in our thousands and in our millions, we are all Palestinian. In our thousands, in our millions. In our thousands, in our millions. In our thousands, in our millions. Now every single person, raise your flag high in the sky. Don't hold the flag if you're not gonna fly it high. And for those not holding a flag, every single person, raise your right fist to the sky. For those in Palestine that witness these Israeli war crimes from sundown to the night time, I mean it. They will kill, but will never die. They will murder, but never lay their life for Palestine. And within our lifetime, with our fists in the sky, we will see a free Palestine. Free! Free!
Palestine!
Free! Free!
Palestine!
Free! Free!
Palestine!
After me, power to our martyrs!
Power to our martyrs!
Power to our martyrs!
Glory to the martyrs!
Power to our martyrs!
Glory to the martyrs!
Power to those in Jenin! When I say Jenin, you say power to you. Palestinians of Jenin!
Power to you!
Palestinians of Gaza!
Power to you!
Palestinians of Nablus!
Power to you!
Palestinians throughout Palestine!
Power to you!
And remember, Israel, when you attack them in Palestine, you're attacking us in the UK. The lions of wrath are wiser than the horses of instruction. Takbir! 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 And make sure that you don't act as an individual but as a collective. What is your excuse from standing outside these Israeli war factories that create the bombs that kill Palestinians? Next month, May the 1st, Leicester, be there. What's your excuse?
Jazakallah, thank you very much. Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
You will see, you will see!
Palestine will be free!
Jazakallah, thank you, brother, so much. Thank you very much for starting us off with such a passionate speech. And we'd like to quickly move on. Unfortunately, there's only about 20 of them over there. Nothing we can do. I mean, if they want to borrow some people, I don't know. But, you know. So, without further ado, I'd like to invite Les Levidoff, member and organizer of Jewish Network for Palestine and the Convivencia Alliance. Can we welcome him with a loud free, 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 from the river to the sea. You will see, you will see, from the river to the sea.
Masalama. Palestinians have faced an ongoing Nakba, which has intensified since last year. Nakba describes the 1948 catastrophe, when hundreds of thousands of Palestinians fled for their lives. The ongoing Nakba since 1948 means continuous Israeli theft, coercion, threats, and violence, which together make everyday life more dangerous or even impossible for Palestinians. Ongoing means normalized. Such terrorist behavior becomes normal for the Israeli forces and for ordinary Israelis. Western mass media treat Israeli terror as normal and so as less newsworthy. And such terrorist behavior is incited and led by Israeli politicians. Why has there been an ongoing Nakba? The Israeli regime emerged from the 19th century Zionist movement, which aimed to create a Jewish supremacist state in all of historic Palestine. It was modeled after the settler colonial regimes that European countries had created in the global south, such as in Australia and southern Africa. Since 1948, there have been Zionist calls to finish the job, as they say, to find ways of expelling the Palestinians who remain. This is the logical, violent consequence of Zionism. Yet Western politicians and diplomats desperately continue to pretend that there could be a two-state solution with an independent Palestinian state. They pretend that the main obstacle is the cycle of violence, as they call it. Well, where does this violence come from? Namely, from Western governments colluding with the Israeli colonization process through their political, military, and economic support. This has driven the systematic violence, the ongoing Nakba. Western governments invoke the illusory solution of two states to evade their central responsibility for making it impossible. In reality, long ago, Israel-Palestine became a single state. The only question is what will happen to that state. Either Israel will find ways to expel even more Palestinians by making their life impossible, or else Israel will be decolonized. In other words, it would no longer be a Zionist state. For this difficult task, a new Palestinian leadership will be necessary. Our role here is to support the campaign of boycott, divestment, and sanctions, BDS, which goes far beyond boycotting Israeli dates. It means targeting all the organizations here which give military, political, economic, or cultural support to the Zionist settler colonial regime. There are many targets that we can choose in this country, so support the BDS campaign. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Les. Let's nice round of applause for Les. Let me get that right. Les, I know he's a regular at our meetings here. Member of the Organizer of Jewish Network for Palestine and the Convivencia Alliance. Free, free! Free, free! From the river to the sea! Okay, guys, we've got we've got an amazing surprise for you guys. So you need to stay for that surprise a bit longer, okay? Please, and let's listen to people in silence if we can. I know a lot of you are tired, but not more tired than the people in Palestine. So let's hear you with your nice loud lungs. Let's get the blood flowing. Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! Some of you in the demonstration may have seen a silver key being passed around at the front of the demo, and there's a reason for that, which I'll come to in a second. Okay. I'd like to next invite Huda Amouri. Huda Amouri is the co-founder of Palestine Action, the organization whose direct action protest forced the closure of several sites belonging to the Israeli arms manufacturer Elbit systems in the UK. That you must show your support, show your love, show that you're with them, raise your banners, raise your flags. Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Huda, the stage is yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone. My name is Huda and I'm a proud Palestinian. Just a week or so ago, we saw the Israeli military attack and arrest 400 Palestinians for praying at Al-Aqsa Mosque during the holy month of Ramadan. They beat our brothers and sisters and then they attack the people of Gaza. Gaza, which even David Cameron, who sat in that building over there, described as the world's largest open-air prison, which is one of the most densely populated areas on earth, where the majority of the people there are children, and the majority of the people there are refugees who've already been displaced from other parts of Palestine. And routinely, Israel uses the Palestinian people in Gaza as a testing ground for their weapons. They will fly their drones over the skies of Gaza. They will surveil their every move. And at any moment, these drones can turn and drop missiles on their heads. And every time they do, they will go out and say that their weapons have been battle tested. Battle tested on the captive population of Gaza. Al-Quds weaponry, their tanks, their bullets, their drones, their tear gas, their white phosphorus is made by this company who build their weapons across this country. In Palestine Action, we were sick and tired of appealing to the powers that be. We were sick and tired of trying to appeal to the politicians, some of which reside in that building, because every single government in Britain for the past 100 years has been complicit in the oppression of the Palestinian people. And we will no longer beg. We will no longer beg for them to listen to us when we ask them to stop killing our brothers and sisters in Palestine, in Kashmir, in Iraq and Afghanistan. We will take direct action against all of Elbit system sites in this country. We go straight to the source and we blockade their gates. We climb onto their roofs. We smash inside of their arms factories and destroy their weapons of war. They can try and arrest us, they can raid us, they can beat us, but they will never stop us. Because when you don't stop, you win. We have shut down their arms factory in Oldham. We have shut down their headquarters in London. We have kicked them out of over £280 million worth of contracts with the Ministry of Defence, and we are only just getting started. All of us, every single one of you, is going to join us from May the 1st when we shut down the next Israeli weapons factory in this country. We will stay there day and night, and we will not leave until that factory is gone from Leicester. So when you go home today, join Palestine Action. Pack your bags, book your travel, get your time off work, and make sure you are at the factory at those gates in Leicester for May the 1st, and let's shut Elbit down together.
Sister Farrell, thank you so much. Let's see her off with a free, 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 free. From the river to the sea. You will see, you will see. Thank you so much. Now, all our speakers, we're really grateful to have them all, but we've got a surprise one as well. It's actually Lowkey. Lowkey has come. And we're ready, but we're going to have him on in a bit, not yet. Lowkey, hang on, we've got one more speaker, and then we'll have Lowkey on. Got to keep you all here, and I'll try and get him back for the end as well, so you all stay for the end as well. So, can I please ask you all to welcome Huda, originally from and raised in Al-Quds, from one of the last Palestinian families in the old city of Jerusalem. She is also the founder of Key 48, a campaign calling for the immediate return of all Palestinian refugees and a referendum amongst the global Palestinian community on the future of Palestine. And you probably saw them with the silver key, signifying the keys to their homes in Jerusalem and further afield. Can you please, with a loud, free, 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 free. Can we welcome Farah Container to the stage, please? Farah, please. Free, 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 free. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. What's happening now in Palestine didn't start this Ramadan or last year's Ramadan. It's been happening for every minute of every second of the last 75 years. The violence Palestine is enduring has been happening every single day that the Israeli settler colony has existed, and Palestinians will continue to be victim to that violence for as long as the Israeli settler colony continues to exist. If Israel's existence is on the rubble of Palestinian villages it has destroyed, and if Israel's existence is on the mass graves of the native Palestinians it has murdered, then Israel has no right to exist. If Israel's existence depends on stealing my family's home in Jerusalem, if it depends on militarily occupying my family, if Israel's existence depends on ethnically cleansing my family, my father, my mother, my brother from our native land, then Israel has no right to exist. Israel is not a state, it is not a country, it is a group of settlers. It is a settler colony squatting on Palestinian land. We demand the dismantlement of the Israeli settler colony immediately. We demand the decolonization, the liberation, and the freedom of Palestine now. Be clear, do not hesitate, do not pander in the face of our oppressor. Anyone uttering anything different is not standing up for Palestine. If you, your MP, or any politician that claims to be representing us are not calling for Israel's immediate dismantlement, then they are complicit in Israeli oppression. If they say they support a two-state solution, they are complicit in Israeli oppression. If they are not categorically stating that the Israeli settler colony built on the mass graves of my ancestors has no right to exist, they are complicit in Israeli oppression. And lastly, if you truly support Palestine, that means you support Palestinian resistance.
Hell
you
yeah!
support any and all resistance. You support any and all resistance that Palestinians choose to undertake to liberate their native land and to fight for their freedom and liberation. No one, absolutely no one, has the right to tell Palestinians how to resist, how to survive an oppressor relentlessly trying to erase their very existence. Palestinians resisting brutal settler colonialism, military occupation, apartheid is not terrorism, it is not extremism, it is resistance. But I'll tell you what terrorism really is. Terrorism is storming Al-Aqsa in Islam's holiest month and brutally attacking Palestinian Muslims. That is terrorism. Terrorism is brutally attacking Palestinian Christians who were on their way to Easter prayers yesterday. That is terrorism. Terrorism is invading Palestinian refugee camps in Jenin and murdering children and the elderly. That is terrorism. Terrorism is Israel's very existence. Palestine won't be liberated by the United Nations created by colonial powers for the interests of colonial powers. Palestine won't be liberated by the Tory government over there who pull out the red carpet for war criminals like Benjamin Netanyahu. Palestine won't be liberated by Biden and his corporation cronies who give over $3.8 billion a year to the Israeli government. And Palestine will not be liberated by the treacherous and corrupt Palestinian leadership, the Palestinian Authority, who conspire with Israeli intelligence to quote, and I quote, to wipe out Palestinian resistance groups in Jenin and Nablus. Palestine will be liberated in Nablus, in Jenin, in Gaza, in Jerusalem, Al-Quds, and Palestinians will do this by using their legal right to resist by any and all means necessary. This is not an opinion, this is international law, this is UN Resolution 3246. Palestinians have a legal right to resist by any means necessary. Palestine will be liberated in places like Leicester and Oldham by international comrades like us, joining groups like Palestine Action, shutting down the arms factories that provide Israel the weapons it uses to continue its genocide of indigenous Palestinians. And lastly, truly standing with Palestine means that you stand for all. Our solidarity must be intersectional, it must be interconnected and consistent. If you're coming out for Palestine, you should be coming out to demand the United States end its brutal blockade on the people of Cuba. You should be calling that US also lifts its brutal blockade and sanctions off the people of Venezuela. If you're coming out for Palestine, you should be coming out for all native and indigenous peoples resisting the same brutal settler colonialism that Palestinians are facing. From our Native American comrades on Turtle Island to our First Nation Aboriginal comrades suffering Australian settler colonialism. You should be supporting Black Lives Matter, justice and liberation for Kashmir, a united Ireland, and if you support Palestine, you should be part of a trade union. It means you should be fighting the evils of capitalism and classism in our society. And lastly, tomorrow is International Prisoners Day. So tomorrow is Palestinian Prisoners Day, commemorated every day on April 17th. And this is a tribute now to all the political Palestinian prisoners currently imprisoned in Israeli colonial jails as we speak, to the Palestinian children being tortured, to those on hunger strike, to the female Palestinian political prisoners forced to give birth with shackles around their ankles and wrists, to those tortured to the point of miscarriage, to all those who should be free right now, like you and I. Israeli forces abduct and arrest a Palestinian child every 3 hours. 3 Palestinian children were abducted alone just this morning in Silwan. Israel has arrested over 53,000 Palestinian children since 1967. And we say, free them all! Free them all! Free them all! Free them all! Thank you.
Sorry about the mic system. Right, as I said, we've got oh, viva, viva, la Palestina. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella. Viva, viva, la Palestina. She'll be free from the river to the sea. Oh, viva, viva, la Palestina. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Viva, viva, la Palestina. She'll be free from the river to the sea. Please, put your hands together for the one, the only, the irreplaceable Lowkey!
This is for Palestine, Ramallah, West Bank, Gaza. This is for the child that is searching for an answer. Wish I could take your tears and replace them with laughter. Long live Palestine!
Long live Gaza!
Long live Palestine!
Long live Gaza!
Long live Palestine!
Long live Gaza!
So I think the important thing to do also is to contextualize what exactly is happening at Al-Aqsa. Now the Israeli regime, through the Ministry of Culture and the Ministry of Education, funds several organizations that have the explicit intention of the destruction of the two masjids at Al-Aqsa and the replacing of them with a temple. This is not an immediate plan, but this is something that these organizations have been working for at least since 2008, receiving funding from the Israeli regime. We have to be realistic. These acts are not random and they are not irrational. So when you see people attacked and stopped from performing i'tikaf, what is actually happening is Israel is establishing the safe passage for these settler groups that have the explicit intention of breaking down those structures. If we seriously want to save Al-Aqsa, then we have to look at ways within this country that we can make it harder for Israel to do what it wants to Marabitun in Al-Aqsa al-an. So for example, Elbit Systems is the parent company of a company called IMI Systems. Every single time you see somebody shot in the head with a rubber bullet in Al-Aqsa, those bullets come from the company by the name of IMI Systems. Now, Elbit Systems had 10 sites in this country. It doesn't anymore. And if you want to know why Elbit Systems only has 8 sites left in this country, 2 words: Palestine Action.
Hell yeah!
Elbit Systems have had to flee from their headquarters in London and also shut down and sell their subsidiary in Oldham. We have a political system which is intransigent. It cannot allow, it's not a vehicle through which we will be able to effect change in Palestine. However, there are methods that we can take to help those resisting. So just to finish, I would absolutely like to say, get involved in Palestine Action. But also, when I say long live Palestine, or Ashid Palestine, I want every single one of you to say Ashid Gaza. Are you with me? Let's give it a try. This is for Palestine Al-Quds, the capital Jerusalem. Unarmed people march into the wall and they're shooting them. Suppression is a question. Resistance is the answer. Ashid Palestine.
Ashid Gaza!
Ashid Palestine.
Ashid Gaza!
Ashid Palestine. Palestine, Ramallah, West Bank, Gaza. This is for the child that is searching for an answer. Wish I could take your tears and replace them with laughter. Ashid Palestine. Ashid Palestine. Thank you very much. Peace and love.
Okay, like how we are free, 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 from the river to the sea, from the river to the sea, free, 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 free. Can I next invite someone, many of you will know, in fact you know all of these speakers, Chris Williamson, who is a former MP